When you wake up, drop a slice of bread into the toaster, and catch the school bus, you are using energy. But where does the power for that morning routine actually come from? Most of the energy powering our daily lives comes from deep underground, stored in what we call fossil fuels. To find the source of these fuels, we have to look back millions of years. Ancient forests and microscopic sea creatures absorbed energy from the sun, lived out their lives, and eventually died. They sank to the bottom of swamps and oceans, getting buried under thick, heavy layers of mud and rock. Over time, immense pressure and heat squished this organic matter, cooking it into dense energy pockets of coal, petroleum, and natural gas. Since this takes millions of years, these fuels are non-renewable. Once extracted, the Earth cannot quickly replace them. We are extracting and burning fuels in a matter of seconds that took nature millions of years to create. We are spending the planet's long-term energy savings account faster than it can ever be replenished. To keep society running, we dig up these ancient fuels on a massive scale. Huge excavation sites peel back the earth to mine solid coal. We also build towering rigs to pierce the Earth's crust, tapping into highly pressurized pockets of liquid petroleum that gush to the surface. Once we extract these fuels, we release their trapped energy through a process called combustion. Combustion is a chemical reaction where a fuel is burned in the presence of oxygen, creating the heat and light needed to power our engines and power plants. But combustion has a severe side effect. The burning process releases invisible clouds of carbon dioxide and harmful pollutants directly into the air we breathe. This chart compares exhaust emissions of 3 vehicle types. On the left, a standard petrol car releases a high volume of exhaust. In the middle, a CNG bus emits fewer pollutants. Compressed natural gas is a pressurized fossil fuel burning cleaner than petrol. On the right, an EV shows 0 tailpipe emissions. An electric vehicle is powered entirely by an onboard battery. However, 0 tailpipe emissions doesn't mean it's completely clean. If that battery's electricity comes from a coal-burning power plant, it's still tied to pollution. Simply swapping out the types of cars we drive won't solve the problem. To achieve truly clean energy, we have to stop burning finite, dirty treasures and find an entirely different source for our power. Fortunately, we don't have to rely on what's buried underground. We can look to the sky for renewable energy, everyday treasures that naturally replenish themselves and never run out. The sun is our most powerful energy source, constantly bathing the earth in heat and light. Over decades, inventors have developed technology to capture that sunlight and put it to work. Inside a modern solar panel, the process is quiet and invisible. When sunlight hits the specialized surface of a solar cell, the light energy excites the material, knocking tiny electrons loose. These freed electrons then flow into a wire, creating a steady stream of electricity. We can also capture the energy of moving air. When the sun heats the earth unevenly, it creates wind, carrying massive amounts of kinetic energy, the energy of physical motion. Today, we harness that motion using modern wind turbines. As the wind pushes against their massive blades, the kinetic energy spins a generator inside, sending clean electricity out to the power grid. While the technology has improved, the concept is centuries old. People have long used traditional windmills to capture that same moving air to perform mechanical work, like pumping fresh water or grinding grain. Because the sun rises and the wind blows across the earth every single day, they offer an endless allowance of energy, completely free of the pollution caused by combustion. Transitioning to clean energy is a huge step, but protecting the planet also requires conservation. Conservation means using our natural resources carefully and responsibly, ensuring they last for future generations. Conservation is built on simple, everyday choices. For instance, choosing to ride a bicycle or share a carpool for short trips directly reduces the amount of fossil fuel burned, keeping the local air cleaner. It applies to how we use fresh water. Instead of letting rain wash into storm drains, communities can use rainwater harvesting systems to collect water for farming and drinking during dry months. This kind of water conservation is an ancient practice. In dry regions, people built step wells, long, deep trenches lined with stone blocks, specifically designed to catch rain and trap water seeping through the earth, saving it for when it was needed most. We also conserve the environment by protecting forests. Trees act as the lungs of the earth. They absorb the carbon dioxide created by combustion and release fresh oxygen back into the atmosphere. Throughout history, communities have taken direct action to defend these vital ecosystems. In the 1970s, during the Chipko movement in India, local women physically hugged the trees in their forests, putting themselves between the trunks and the logging axes to protect their home. When we zoom out, we see how these individual actions add up. Using a compost N, building safe bike lanes, protecting local woods, and installing solar panels multiply together to keep a growing city clean and healthy. Nature provides the resources we need to survive, but our daily choices determine their future. Managing these gifts responsibly today protects the Earth's most vital treasures for everyone who follows.